The cat is out of the bag. Toyota has finally officially announced their battery electric vehicle, their three-row crossover, coming to the Kentucky plant, the world's largest Toyota plant. Let's get into the details. Over at the Toyota newsroom, they're having a party over there in Kentucky with this recent announcement. I've mentioned it on the channel before. This news has been out for probably a couple months now at this point, but Toyota hadn't officially announced it. But we got some new details on top of those old rumors about this three-row battery electric crossover. So let's get into the bullet points. All new three-row. Now, isn't that funny? Let's pause right there. Toyota this week just ended the embargo on the Grand Highlander that I have a video going out at the time of this recording in about an hour of the turbo model. There's 3 different powertrains on that. So not only do you have the Highlander, that's a three-row crossover, you have the Grand Highlander, you have the Sequoia. Now you're going to have this battery electric vehicle as a three-row crossover as well. And then you have the Sienna as well. So if you want to count essentially 5 different crossovers, one of them just with sliding doors in the Toyota lineup, it's pretty crazy. They say production is starting in 2025. So the old news leak said it would be around mid-2025. And if we go to Nikkei Asia from the article back in February, Toyota intends to produce 10,000 battery electric three-row crossovers monthly by the end of 2025. So we're talking about 6 digits production, over 100,000 of these things probably per year starting in 2026. And since they are built in America, unlike the BZ4X, they will qualify for the EV tax credit of up to $7,500. Now, globally by 2026, Toyota is aiming 1 million battery electric vehicles on sale, if not more. And in America, they plan to produce 200,000 battery electric vehicles here in the United States. Most of them, I would expect, if not all of them, coming out of that Kentucky plant. We'll talk about if 120,000 is for this three-row crossover, what's the rest of them going to be? We'll talk about that. Could be from the Lexus end. Now, this three-row crossover, no surprise, will use batteries from the brand new battery factory in North Carolina. And they're investing an additional $2.1 billion into that North Carolina battery plant for extended production of battery electric vehicle batteries as well as hybrid batteries. And this brings a total investment into the battery plant of nearly $6 billion. And at that battery plant in 2025, they will have 6 battery production lines, 4 for hybrid electric vehicles and 2 for battery electric vehicles. 2025 looks to be an exciting year and beyond, where we'll see availability for their hybrids explode, as well as availability for their plug-in hybrids. Yes, the perfect vehicle for me is a plug-in hybrid Sienna. Hopefully by 2025, 2026, that would be amazing with the batteries coming out of North Carolina. And also at that point in time, they could start building plug-in hybrid RAV4s, plug-in hybrid Grand Highlanders, plug-in hybrid Lexus TXs at a much higher volume by 2025, 2026. So we just have to wait out 2-3 more years, and then we'll see juicy offerings from Toyota, and more importantly, better availability for their electrified options. Let's get into Toyota Motor Manufacturing in Kentucky. 9,000 people are employed, and that's just at the plant because they have tons of suppliers in and around the area as well. If you look down here, 350 suppliers nationwide and over 100 in Kentucky. Their production capacity is 550,000 vehicles and 600,000 engines annually. So recently, TMMK just said that they are making 3 engine types going forward. The 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder seen in their hybrid vehicles, the A25 AFXS engine. Also, you'll see the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo that we see in tons of Toyota and Lexus products. And then also hydrogen fuel stacks will be built at TMMK. So those are the 3 engines to lead forward into the future and with hybrids and plug-in hybrids. But let's get into assembly line 1, 2, and 3. So currently in Kentucky, they build the Camry on assembly line 1. That is getting radically reformed in order to make way for the battery electric three-row crossover. I'm just going to call it the BZ5X. We'll talk a little bit about what it looks like here in a little bit. But in the announcement, it sounded like they don't have a name for it yet. Maybe they're fighting hard not to call it the BZ5X, which I think everyone on this channel, comment down below. If you do not want it to be called the BZ5X, comment down below and just say any name or anything other than BZ5X, I think most of us would be happy for. But all right, line 2 currently has the RAV4 hybrid, I believe. I don't think it's the normal RAV4. I think it's just the RAV4 hybrid plus the Camry. These two lines that produce a Camry will be kind of modernized into line 2 with just the Camry hybrid. We will be getting the Camry redesign announced by the end of this year, November sometime during the LA Auto Show. And Lexus ES is a big mystery. The timelines on this for Toyota have been all over the place. First, they said manufacturing would go back to Japan for the Lexus ES in 2025 or earlier. Those goalposts seem to be moving for the Lexus ES, and it's only a matter of time before they replace that Lexus sedan with a different Lexus sedan or wagon as a battery electric vehicle in Kentucky. Totally up in the air at this point, but we can get our hopes up for another Lexus sedan coming out of Kentucky. We can pour a few out for our homies that were once produced at the Kentucky plant. The Avalon, the Sienna, which is produced in Princeton, Indiana, the original Gangster Venza, which is now the Harrier produced in Japan and imported over here. And then we had the once amazing coupe convertible Camry Solara been built in Kentucky. The RAV4, I'm 99% sure all that production will go to either Japan or Canada. And the Lexus ES is a big question mark because, I mean, what are they going to make a battery electric Lexus ES, or is it going to be the IS? Again, that is a big mystery. So here's my ideal spreadsheet talking about the numbers that I am expecting to see, not based off of anything, just what my gut's telling me with how conservative Toyota and Lexus are, that we could be seeing from these 3-row crossovers. So expect a 2-wheel drive, a front-wheel drive version. Look, Toyota and Lexus have proven time again with their crossovers. They don't make all-wheel drive standard, so they offer options. So here we go. Front-wheel drive model with 250 horsepower. Torque, who knows? 0 to 60 under 8 seconds would be my guess. We need to get their charge rates up big time. It's a travesty that their BZ4X all-wheel drive only charges at 100 kilowatts, and that's best case scenario. That's like peak, not continuous. So that absolutely needs to be bumped up. 200 is the minimum that I would accept in such a large vehicle. Who knows for battery pack size, but I'd love to get to that 300-mile range on a large 3-row crossover. If you look at Kia is going to have around 300 miles of range with their EV9, and Hyundai will as well with their Ioniq 7 vehicle. So starting price would be around $55,000, and I think they would all qualify for the EV tax credit, even the top Lexus grade. But I could be way off on that. And then of course they would have an all-wheel drive model with a little bit more horsepower. If you look at the BZ4X all-wheel drive compared to the front-wheel drive, it's just a little bit more power. It's there not necessarily for performance, but for added traction and additional off-road grippage. So the mileage will go down as a result of adding that extra motor. And Toyota's pretty good at not charging a whole lot more for all-wheel drive over the standard front-wheel drive models. So what about the Lexus TZ, the 3-row crossover, battery electric vehicle? Well, I think base model has to come with more performance than we see on the BZ5X. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's all-wheel drive standard. Look at the RZ450E. Has a little over 300 horsepower, but it can break 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. So it's an upper fours, I think I got in like 4.8, which is really, really quick when I just had it for review last month. So look for the TZ or whatever they call this thing to have a pretty good performance that eclipses even the quickest BZ5X would be my expectations. And then please, God, give us an F-Sport performance variant of the TZ. Acura doesn't care. I mean, even General Motors, it doesn't care with their Blazer SS EV. And Acura's like, hey, we're going to come out of the gate swinging and open with a Type S ZDX battery electric crossover. So hopefully Toyota and Lexus can come with some performance here. Now, 450 horsepower is not exactly world-breaking. That's less horsepower than the GV70 2-row battery electric vehicle that I tested last month as well. So not exactly world-beating, but it's not an F car. So I think Lexus would reserve they would never make an F, a full-blown F out of this, but at least 450 horsepower. And I'm being extremely conservative here because I just don't expect Lexus to do a whole lot here in terms of performance with this 3-row battery electric vehicle. But I hope I'm wrong. And I haven't updated this range here, but maybe it's somewhere around 270 here, maybe 260 here. So over in China, they announced this lifestyle FlexSpace, BZ FlexSpace concept. And this is, I think, a 3-row vehicle. I'm not 100% sure. We have an interior for the concept as well with the fake grass. Who knows? It could be real grass. Don't you guys want sod in your car? And I don't think the BZ5X or whatever they call this 3-row crossover out of America, I don't expect it to look anything like this. But the outside, maybe. We could take some design cues from it. But this just doesn't look big enough for the American market. So here it is. This is the vehicle I'm expecting to be produced there in Kentucky as the first battery electric vehicle ever made for Toyota in North America. You can see the plug-in port right behind the left front wheel here. Expect full-size mirrors because digital side mirrors are illegal in the United States. But there's also a big question mark because the Lexus variant of this guy right here, was also announced at the same time at the end of 2021. So I wouldn't be surprised, just like the new Lexus TX is produced alongside of the Grand Highlander in Princeton, Indiana. I would not be surprised we have the BZ5X, Toyota, as well as this Lexus TZ. I don't know what they would call it. Let's just call it TZ for now. 3-row battery electric crossover produced alongside of it. It's a bit uncharacteristic of Lexus to share assembly lines with their mass market, lower quality built brethren, but it seems to be happening around the world already. And I think the first sign we saw of it was with the BZ4X and the Lexus RZ being built at the Motomachi plant on the same assembly line with a Subaru model. Is it possible that they could produce this in Japan and import it? I guess so, but why would you do that when you're building, this $6 billion battery plant in North Carolina to produce battery electric vehicles? And if Lexus wants to qualify for the EV tax credit, it has to be built here in America as well. So to me, it makes the most sense to be built in Kentucky alongside of the BZ5X or whatever they call it. And here it is under the lights, which looks pretty cool if you ask me. I like the illuminated Lexus badge here on the front as well. And this is the last image I have of this 3-row crossover being built into Kentucky. They could change a few things about it, but looking at the front end here, this is that next generation hammerhead design. I don't expect it to look much different than this because we have other vehicles that was announced in 2021 that look just like these concepts, whether it's the Tacoma in the back, the trademarks for this light cruiser in the back as well. They've trademarked this Lexus IS design. We have the BZ3 already available in China, unfortunately not in the United States, which is a gut punch to me because I think it would do well to fight against the Model 3. And don't forget the lovely Crown Sport was also shown to us at that time, and it will be coming out this year. It will be coming out this year. Don't know if it's coming to America. We can get our hopes up, but this beautiful performance sport crossover is coming as well. I'm sorry, it's a little off topic, but it just gets me excited anytime I see all these concept images that former CEO, now chairman Akio Toyoda showed off. And look what's in the front row here. This vehicle's out already. The BZ3, BZ4X is out already. The BZ compact SUV was teased at last year's auto show in LA. This guy is pretty much an exclusive, I would say, to Europe or Japan. And then here's the big 3-row crossover, large SUV for America. We already have the Lexus RZ. But I'm going to shut it down there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you stay tuned because I will be debuting many Toyota and Lexus models over the summer. Next up is the TX and GX. Then after that, we might have something new coming from Toyota, but I can't say anything at this point in time. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting summer for Toyota for sure as we head into the fall where the Camry is likely to be revealed as well. So stay tuned. Thank you guys. Have a great day. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.